According to the United States Constitution, the people have the right to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. We have some grievances! We the people are rising up. We the people have something more valuable than money. We have our voices. We have the power to get attention, and we must use that to our advantage. Look what happened in Wisconsin. In the first major statewide election since the Pussy Grabbers 2024 election, oligarchy lost. Democracy won. The oligarchs spent $25 million and used the largest social media company in the world trying to buy a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Wisconsin voters were paying attention. Attention is more valuable than money. So far, I've been talking about the rights and freedoms granted by the United States Constitution. We also have rights guaranteed by the Oklahoma Constitution. The Oklahoma Constitution grants Oklahomans the right to propose and amend laws, to veto laws recently passed by the legislature, and the right to amend their constitution. These rights are exercised by using the initiative or referendum petition process. When people sign an initiative or referendum petition, they are saying they believe the issue should become a state question and be put to a vote of the people. Once the measure is on the ballot, every registered voter can express their opinion with a yes or no vote. The legislature wants to restrict our right to petition by making the process so difficult it is virtually impossible. They want to consolidate power for themselves and take power from the people. Senate Bill 1024 contains every bad idea in the anti-democracy playbook, and it's halfway through the legislative process. It will become law if we don't stop it.
Let's see if I can get you guys a slightly better view.
Someone you love, one of the more than 1/4 million people who qualified for sooner care after Medicaid expansion. Do you benefit from the use of medical marijuana? Thank the initiative petition process. Did you know that next year you will get to vote to raise the minimum wage? That's because of the initiative petition process. When lawmakers ignore the wants and needs of Oklahomans, we take matters into our own hands with initiative petitions. We have brought positive change to our state, like Medicaid expansion and criminal justice reform. The petition process in Oklahoma is very difficult and very expensive. Only 1 in 5 of the initiative petitions filed make it to the ballot, and only 1 in 3 of those on the ballot are actually passed by voters. When given the chance to vote on policy not associated with a political label, in other words, without an R or D after the name or of or the idea, the people, not distracted by partisanship, make decisions based on merit. Oklahoma has the shortest period for collecting signatures in the country. No, that sucks, right? When considering a state question, citizens use good judgment and vote carefully. There is no legitimate reason to restrict our rights to make these decisions. So, to the Oklahoma legislature, to our federal congressional delegation, and especially to the oligarchy, we say, hands off our Constitution!
But I completely endorse them. They're a great organization. Since I only have 5 minutes, I'm going to make this very quick. First, I want to ask people, what are we doing? Project 2025 is 44% done. Several legal residents have been legally deported for going out against the court administration. Here are just some of the executive orders that have been implemented. Executive Order 14253, Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, March 27, 2025. Not only does this order seek to attack anyone critical of American history, it seeks to completely rewrite it. Executive Order 14242, Improving Education Outcomes by Empowering Parents, States, and Communities. This order seeks to completely dismantle the Department of Education. Executive Order 14236, Rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. This order removes Memorandum for Advancing LGBTQ Rights. Executive Order 14026, Increasing Minimum Rates for Federal Workers. Determination 2022-13, removes Production Act to ensure the adequate supply of baby formula. And 75 more executive orders put in by the Biden administration and other Democratic presidents have been removed by this one executive order. I ask again, what are we doing? I am still hearing people scream, vote. Our protections are being completely gutted, and we are out here screaming, Elon Musk has got to go. These people revel in the fact that all you think you can do is protest and vote. We know, and history has proven, that this type of protesting will do nothing but serve the establishment that we are protesting in the first place. For example, possibly America's most famous speech and possibly America's most famous protest, Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech in the March on Washington. I asked you to stop cheering. That protest was a co-op. That march was supposed to shut down the government. People were planning to lay down on airplane tracks to stop airplanes from landing. John F. Kennedy called Martin Luther King to make the protest a completely peaceful march. It was completely co-opted. We are serving the establishment with what we are doing. I understand why this protest must be peaceful. This is for networking. But you people have to act. What we are doing now is screaming into a void of people who laugh at us. We are screaming at people who don't give a shit at all. Like, what are we doing out here? Like, are you guys just gonna go back to work tomorrow? Are you just gonna go back to school? What are you gonna do? We need to strike. We need to connect with each other.
We are in Oklahoma City.
That's what the people up there want. Martin Luther King said, I must confess that the dream I once had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. This is all through our government people. This is all through our government history. It has duped people into believing that this kumbaya ideal of strict peace and bureaucracy by those of us who are made to be oppressed can achieve any avenue of change through this. The workers, the children, and hell, even the dogs have lost our thirst for revolution. And I say that it's today. We have the power to attack them financially. We have the power to attack them economically. If we want to change something, that's what we're going to have to attack. You guys need to go out of your way to connect with the people around you. Go to mutual aid. We give out this paper at every rally I'm at. It's 4 steps that you can do to simply be a better protester. Step 1, just find your identity. I see so many faces here. For being political dissenters. You're going to be used as an example. You need to connect with people and hide your identity. Come here with a group. Do not bring your phone.
Boycott!
Secondly, you need to build your community. If you are here today and you're not joining an organization, 5051 Organizing Okies, make your own group if you need to. It doesn't matter how small. Decentralized power is the most powerful power. You need to join someone and act. Third, do not talk to the police. The police are not our friends. Think about the amount of police who are neo-Nazis. These people are not on our side. They say that they're here to protect us. They are here to protect capital and property. They will never be here to protect us. And I ask you, if the police came here right now and told you to go home, how many of you would listen? How many of you would listen? This protest is an illusion of power if we do not use it for the right reasons. Do not let them co-opt our movement. And second, and lastly, like I've been saying, you need to protest with a purpose. What are you here for? Who are you targeting? I hear so many people yelling Trump and Elon. These are figureheads. Trump is a 78-year-old man on blood thinners. He's gonna die soon. He's not the actual person writing down these bills. He's not the person writing down these policies. You need to focus on the right people. We are in Oklahoma, not in Washington, D.C. Here are just some of the names of the people that you can be talking to, the names of the people that you can be protesting against. Tommy Johnson III and Dee Dee Taylor. Dee Dee Taylor is a former county sheriff. Tommy Johnson III is a current county sheriff. When the police start brutalizing us, these are the people who are going to be making those decisions on what the police do. Ron C. Basie is the police chief of OKC. You need to know these people because they are going to be responsible for people disappearing. They're going to be responsible for people being arrested and brutalized. These are people you need to know. Arm yourself with knowledge and arm yourself with community because what we're doing right now will achieve almost nothing if you do not act. And like I said, we need to attack them financially. Here are the executives of Devon Energy, one of the richest companies in Oklahoma that quite literally control a very large part of our lives. The president and chief executive of Devon Energy is Clay Gosper. The vice president is Dennis Cameron. Thank you all for listening to me. I do plan to speak later outside of here. If you've been inspired by me at all, please come speak to me. I give out my information. Please come speak to me later. I hope I set the tone for this. Please talk about acting.
We are called to action. March on Washington. 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 Thank you.
All right, thank you for those of you in the crowd that came up to speak. We are going to go ahead and have our next main speaker up. Our next speaker is Beto Rivas, a ubiquitous presence in Oklahoma, has always been driven by his passion for people. As a two-spirit citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, descendant of the Seminole, Creek, and Tarahuma tribes, Beto has left an indelible mark on both local and statewide efforts for nearly 20 years, channeling his energy into diverse initiatives spanning the realms of arts, mental health, and the nonprofit sector. As a suicide survivor, Beto transforms personal adversity with mental health illness and recovery into a beacon of hope and a catalyst for change. His narrative, rich with humanity, serves as a source of inspiration, underscoring his belief that equity, equality, and mental health acceptance are achievable through collective effort toward a shared objective, a quality of life for all, and with the mindset of life for the sake of life. Over the years, Beto's contagious sense of purpose manifests in his multifaceted roles as a public speaker, consultant, performer, writer, activist, and volunteer. Please help me welcome Beto.
Shokma, once again, everybody. If you don't know, that's hello in Chickasaw. And hola todos que están mexicanos aquí. Ahora, yo quiero decir a ustedes que nosotros también están indígenas. Y nosotros necesitamos recordar eso. What humanity has lost, all but lost, is vulnerability, authenticity, and hope. But it's in moments like these where we see a glimmer as we are all here sharing our pain and our anger, both real and raw emotions. Emotions and feelings that are most definitely valid and that we must feel and express, as suppressing it only makes it worse, and ignoring it only perpetuates the issues at hand. But let us also remember that with that anger and pain, we also share an eagerness for change, a want for something better, not just for ourselves, but for humanity as a whole. We want these things because we have something the oligarchs don't: empathy, love, acceptance, and a want for mutual respect. All attributes that Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk lack and are incapable of having.
That's right. Cruel.
But can I be vulnerable with you all for a second? I hate that I've allowed their hate to make me hate. Hate never used to live in my heart, and I ground myself often to not allow it to consume me. For if I let it consume me, and there have been times where I've become pretty close, they would win.
That's right.
I venture to say that many of you here have shared those same feelings. We as human beings should not have to live with such feelings of hate. But how can someone not be as fed up as we are? I guess that's the tragic reality of human nature. However, it's days like this that fuel my hope and reaffirm the concept to relentlessly love despite it all. Now, I must admit, I myself am not a believer in the westernized and colonial religion of Christianity. I can, however, respect and appreciate the good that can come from it. The problem, though, is Trump and those like him use this God of love as a way to justify their tactics and actions, which is quite frankly the most despicable thing I've witnessed in this lifetime. In fact, in many lifetimes, because trust me when I say I've lived and we've lived many lifetimes. As indigenous people, we all know all too well that Christianity has brought what has brought to this land. And let me tell you, it wasn't prosperity, it wasn't faith, and it definitely wasn't love, equity, and equality. As indigenous people, we are watching the same history that befell on our ancestors and even relatives living today continue to plague these lands. Because whether you knew it or not, there are still indigenous people living that were displaced from their homes, their families, their culture, and forced into boarding schools?
Yes.
I'll say it again. There are still indigenous people living that were displaced from their homes, their families, their culture, and forced into boarding schools, which was also done in the name of that same God. So what this government is doing is not new. It's been this way since its inception. Everyone else is just waking up to it. But the indigenous people of Turtle Island have lived it their entire lives. We have been fighting it, whether consciously or subconsciously, for centuries now. You are on occupied lands. You are on land where genocide took place, ethnic cleansing took place, and continues today through big pharma, corporate agriculture, systemic racism, income inequality, corporate greed, and countless missing, murdered indigenous people, and so much more. We're seeing it happen around the world, and even the attempt of complete eradication of the Palestinian people. I say all this not to completely negate the good that can be found in some faiths and churches, but to call them to action more than anyone that might be in this crowd, or for those that might hear these words later. For it will take fighting fire with fire, and it will take those of us who have such a distaste for organized religion to set aside those differences and work with those that actually want to see something good. So to the faith leaders, to the believers, you all have a platform, an altar, if you will. And Christ didn't just slap wrists in the Temple of Jerusalem. He took action. He flipped tables and drove out the corrupted, the individuals that turned the temple into a house of commerce and greed. He then went to prophesy the destruction of that temple. And well, America has undoubtedly become a house of commerce and greed. It is undoubtedly led by the corrupt. And I'd imagine if Christ were here today, he would drive out Donald J. Trump, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, Kevin Smith, Ryan Walters, Dusty Beavers, Greg Abbott, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, J.P. Morgan, Boeing, Westland Refinery, and every other bigoted, racist, misogynistic, sexist, homophobic, hateful being and entity of this modern day of Gen Z. Christianity still holds the largest influence in this country, and quite frankly, the world. They may portray otherwise, but it's true. This is why it's important that those of you who truly strive to live as your Christ did, but also understand that not everyone lives and walks in the same faith and welcomes that diversity, stand up and lead the way of shaming and shunning Christian nationalism, Trumpism, and modern-day Nazism that is perpetuating the beautiful lands of Turtle Island. In order to do that, we must bring the humanity back into humanity. We must strive for a better world, not for us, but for those to come. Our children, the next generations. Our generations failed each other, but we don't have to fail them. So when we vote, yes, we vote for each other and ourselves, but I want us to think beyond that. We vote for those who cannot, and for those who have not been born into existence. We vote for Mother Earth, who is much larger than our existence and gives us the very breath that keeps us alive. The whole world is watching as these oligarchs continue to dismantle what little there was to love about this federal government. And they continue to rob us of the potential this country has. Because let me tell you, the United States has never been the greatest country in the world. But in modern constructs, it could be, or modern contexts, it could be. Their American dream was never meant for you and me. And so long as people continue to strive for that unattainable dream, the longer they will have us eating out of the palm of their hands. But the dreams of people like Elizabeth Wanamaker Purvich, Chief Standing Bear, Martin Luther King Jr., Maya Angelou, and will speak into this into existence will one day come true. Our dreams of simply being able to lead equally among one another can and will come true. Our dreams of no more missing, murdered Indigenous women, children, and people can and will come true. Our dreams of our 2S LGBTQ plus community being able to walk this earth without fear can and will come true. Our dreams of health care for all can and will come true. The dreams of our ancestors and of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island to go back to our ancestral ways, to respect these lands, to acknowledge the connection we have with it, and live alongside with respect, admiration, and as community of Native and non-Native people alike, can and will come true. It must come true. I'll leave you all with the words of Chief Standing Bear of the Ponca tribe, of whom I drew inspiration from for today. My hand is not the color of yours, but if I pierce it, I shall feel pain. If you pierce your hand, you also feel pain. The blood that will flow from mine will be the same color as yours. Let us remember our shared humanity and the collective strength we possess. Together we can forge a future that honors our past and paves the way for generations to come. For this to happen, we must speak out, we must take action, hold people accountable, and to never allow Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the evil that plagues these lands to take away our empathy, love, acceptance, our want for mutual respect, and most of all, our hope for a better world. In the Chickasaw language, Yakupe, thank you, gracias, and may the universe continue to guide us in these uncertain times. Aho.
Hello, everyone. February 10th. Does this date mean anything to anyone here? 1 year ago, that was the day that a Owasso student, Next Benedict, died. I am a fine arts education student in university right now. That's all the introduction I want to give that I feel comfortable. I grew up in small town Oklahoma, and I can talk about all the things I want that I already know we both care about. But I came here to talk about one thing. Stagnation is only fatal to mediocrity, is a quote by Albert Camus. You can start out still, and you can start with nothing, but you must start moving, even if it is hard. It is needed to stay alive. Nothing will change if you do nothing. Motivation is not pulled out of your ass. Creativity is not made in a vacuum.